Kamala Harris gets it. Indeed, we ought to fear Trump. However, we ought to likewise deride him savagely, on the grounds that it makes him loco. Donald Trump is in drop. Peruse this portrayal from Sunday's Washington Post of how the GOP candidate spent a week ago. Ides didn't need what is happening where he was watching the show consistently, blowing up, and afterward hitting the fairway the entire day and stewing, as per individuals who talked on the state of namelessness to examine private cooperations. Trump likewise had become irritated with the news inclusion that portrayed him as not filling in as hard as his rival. One individual who conversed with him said, "In the event that you didn't realize that the article was about Trump and you just read it cold without information on the unique situation, you could think it was a portrayal of guardians attempting to sort out some way to deal with a nonconformist 4-year-old. So they persuaded Trump to escape Bedminster and hit the road, exchanging suck-ups with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Previously, Trump has considered Kennedy the stupidest part of the Kennedy family and a revolutionary left insane person. Kennedy has considered Trump a horrible individual and likely a sociopath. Will RFK's underwriting get Trump a couple of votes? It may. In any case, these two unscrupulous freakos merit one another, and assuming it at any point appears as though RFK could matter, all Kamala Harris and Tim Walz need to do is express something to that effect. Harris' mission up to this point has been a showstopper on a few levels, however perhaps the most brilliant stroke of all has been the choice to deride Trump, to introduce him as somebody to fear as well as to criticize. Harris impeccably epitomized this two-dimensional assault in these vital lines from her acknowledgement discourse. In numerous ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. Yet the results of returning Donald Trump to the White House are very troublesome. Simply envision Donald Trump without any guardrails. Yet the accentuation has been on deride. Tim Walz's abnormal remark, Maryland lead Representative Wes Moore's hit at Trump's bone spikes, Barack Obama's clever hand signal when he was discussing Trump's fixation on swarm size. It's perfect on 3 levels. The first is that it should make Trump crazy, and when he goes crazy, he expresses particularly nutty things. Second, calling Trump a fascist may not be as persuasive to swing voters. There is no denying that Trump is a fascist, but at the same time he's crazy. Ridiculing him over his Hannibal Lecter fixation will stick in unopinionated individuals' psyches definitely more unequivocally than advance notice about his arrangements to wreck the equity office, and in its way, it's comparably excluding. Do we truly need a president who thinks an eater of human tissue, but fictitious, was misjudged? Also, third and in particular, supported scorn can possibly build up the descending winding Trump is presently in. He presumably enjoys it when we call him an extremist or dictator, since it communicates dread of him, and he yearns to be dreaded. It recognizes his power. This propels him and makes him more grounded. Disparage makes him more fragile. He shrinks from ridicule. Criticize makes him frantic. He'll attempt to answer with scorn of his own. However, he is certainly not a cunning man. He's a blockhead. He has no mind. He has no wits about him. He doesn't peruse. He doesn't think past first responses. These epithets of his, which the press has made such no joking matter of throughout the long term, they're nothing. They're dick challenges put words to. Little Marco, Tired Joe. There's nothing somewhat astute about any of them. Furthermore, presently he purportedly believes he's concocted an extraordinary one in socialist Kamala. Indeed, it's alliterative, I have to hand it to him. However, I question a lot of that it'll play past the BA. What's more all that, it's not somewhat evident. She is a typical liberal. The righties went crazy over the cost-gouging business. Obviously, they misrepresented it and lied about it. The arrangement, while not horrendously definite, expresses nothing about impressive and immense new government organization to set costs. It would more probably enable the public authority to pursue chosen firms during crises, similar to regulations that are as of now on the books in 34 states. I'm quite certain she can deal with that in a discussion. What's more, coincidentally, refuting charges of socialism is one of many places where opportunity and nationalism and all that show banner waving ought to prove to be useful. These are clubs conservatives have swung at liberals for a really long time, and leftists have seldom been sufficiently shrewd to sort out a method for grabbing those clubs from conservatives' hands, as of recently. Individuals have said, and even I have composed, that Trump will undoubtedly recover his balance sooner or later. I surmise so. Be that as it may, imagine a scenario where he doesn't. Imagine a scenario in which this new unique is simply the dynamic. Against Joe Biden, Trump looked trustworthy to swing electors, essentially due to Biden's age. Against Harris, he looks old since he is, confounded on the grounds that he is, definitely less wise than she since he is, and less really energetic, in light of the fact that he is. Also, the most effective way to guarantee that he remains off his game? Mockery, bone prods, orange tanning shower, Hannibal the Savage, sharks versus electric shock, all the way. The liberals have at last tracked down Trump's actual tragic flaw. They need to continue to jab at it, hard.